Brim. Consume product. No? Brim. Consume. Consume product.
It's not that kind of consume. It's consume product.
Oh, that makes way more sense. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Datto Has to Be a Professional for 10 Minutes, where today, after 2 hours of honeydew errors, I was fortunate enough to get to play the new Destiny season without any crashing. So for those of you who did not get to play, or for those of you in the year 2025 wondering what Season 14 was like, I'm going to break it all down for you. Spoilers, it's pretty similar to last season. To start, you will do the opening mission that the game will immediately throw you into. Enjoy that, not a whole lot to it. I'm not going to really spoil anything here. After that, you will go to the helm to regroup and continue part 1 of the seasonal storyline. This will introduce you to various characters, currencies, and the seasonal activity Override, which you will be sent to after speaking with Mithrax. The item that you'll be interacting with this season is the Splicer Gauntlet, which is pretty similar to the Hammer of Proving from last season. You will gather ether by killing enemies or doing whatever the, I assume to be rotating, bonus objective is on the gauntlet that day or week or whatever it ends up being. Then you will turn that ether into key codes by spending 50 ether within the gauntlet. You can use as much ether as you have room for keys. So if you have 100 ether, you can make 2 keys back to back. In contrast to Season 13, where when you converted Cabal Gold into medallions, you can only do it one at a time due to how the hammer worked. You will then use this key code in Override after you kill the boss at the end to open the chest. This is unlike Season 13, where hammer charges were generated from bashing the chest at the end of a battleground. In Season 14, key codes, aka Season 14 hammer charges, are used at the chest instead of generated at the chest. In order to gain ether very quickly, I must emphasize that you do the bonus objective. For reference, right before I turned off my stream, I did a strike. The kills that I ended up getting in the strike gave me a total of 6 ether. The strike completion, on the other hand, that gave me 75. The bonus objective is overwhelmingly the best way to gather ether for the day if you need keys. Other activities that aren't the bonus will give some ether for completion, but definitely not as much. For those of you not looking to potentially dive into the Crucible or Gambit playlists on those bonus days, strike bonus objective days will be good for you to farm, make a bunch of keys, and then use them while the bonus objective is on those other activities. Alright, so you have your seasonal artifact, you've talked to everyone you gotta talk to, now it's time for Override. This is a 6-player match-made activity where you will be defending a terminal while dunking in data motes and spikes. The event will start with you just killing enemies and barrier or overload champions, at least on the Europa Override, and gathering motes. Occasionally, the portal next to the terminal will open up. This will send you to a short Vex gateway with a mini-boss at the end. This boss will drop a data spike, which should be picked up and dunked into the terminal. Data spikes give big chunks of progress on the progress bar. Not everyone has to go into this portal, and those remaining on the outside should continue to slay enemies and dunk data motes. Every 33% of the bar you fill will spawn intrusion detectors, which need to be killed in order to progress. After this, miniature oracles will pop up next to the terminal. Shoot the ones that glow red in order to spawn some platforms that will take you up the terminal in order to hack a node. After hacking that node, this process will repeat itself 2 more times, with the platforms going higher each time after that. After splicing the terminal completely, you'll be sucked into the Vex network, where you'll have a small platforming section to do, and then you will have a boss fight. The boss fight is pretty simple. Every third of its health bar, the boss will spawn a champion. After you kill the champion, the 3 cubes protecting and tethering the boss will become vulnerable. You just need to shoot them to disable the shield, and then rinse repeat. The champion will also drop a data spike and give you the Splicer's Will buff for a very short time. Splicer's Will appears to speed up your ability cooldowns for a very brief time. There is also what appears to be a rare spawning goblin that looks like a high value target from Gambit. When killed, it'll give you 25 decrypted data. I do not know how to spawn this goblin. I don't know if it's a rare spawn or if it only shows up so many times per day or per week. Not really sure. After the boss is killed, you will have 2 chests. One is for everyone to open, and then the other is for those of you with key codes. I highly suggest bringing a key because this chest will give you decrypted data, which is used to upgrade the Helm Servitor and is also used to focus your Umbral engrams for this season. Apparently, as of this video, it is consuming double your data to focus engrams, so maybe hold off on that for now. After your first override clear, you're going to talk to Ikora, Lakshmi, and then Mithrax before upgrading the Splicer Servitor in the Helm. You'll also be given your first 5 of 10 free synth weaves per character after talking with Mithrax. Upgrading the Splicer Servitor will look very familiar as well. Our friend the 7x3 grid has returned. During the previous season, I found that once I was done with all of the triumphs and challenges of Battlegrounds, I didn't really run Battlegrounds that much anymore, so my suggestion as to which to upgrade first is based on my personal play pattern. Going down the list, the first one just gives you more platforms in the platforming section of Override, which I am not valuing. The laser and wall defenses are meaningless to me because who really cares about dying in Override? Meaningless. The ether filter seems kind of not worth it until you get to the final node, given how little ether drops from enemies to begin with, and I don't think these first 2 upgrades will do a whole lot. Finally, the bonus ammo in Override, to me, is not very meaningful. Therefore, my 2 priorities, based on the intel that we have right now, are increasing capacity of ether and keys, aka memory expansion, and Override efficiency, getting more rewards. I'll probably follow those up with ether filter, assuming the first and last columns stay locked or are not interesting. The fastest way to level your Servitor is to grind Override and make sure you do your seasonal challenges which reward decrypted data. Every time you open the chest which requires a key, you get 30 data, which means unlike last season, you have the choice of grinding out more upgrades faster if you want. There are also a couple of one-time drops in the Season Pass. Otherwise, Override is the only place where you can grind decrypted data. Let's talk leveling next. The cap only increased by 10 this season, meaning if you were at 1310 before the start of this season with no artifact power, you're already at the power cap, with 1320 being the pinnacle cap. If you're below 1310, you'll want to do as many powerful and pinnacle reward sites as possible. If you are at 1310 or higher, the only way to level is through pinnacle rewards. This is the same as it has been working for the past who knows how long now. However, Bungie has stated that Deepstone Crypt will no longer give pinnacle rewards, instead only granting at-level gear, a move that has a lot of people wondering, for why? Which we will discuss in my first impressions video. Note that it says it drops pinnacles right now, it does not. Otherwise, pinnacle reward sites give the following rewards. You will get a +1 item level drop from Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit weekly challenges, opening 3 of the chests with key codes in Override, and from Hawthorne. You will get a +2 item level drop from Harbinger, aka the Hawkmoon mission, a Master Empire Hunt, which is 1340 for this season, the Europa Simulation Activity, Nightfall 100k, and from the final boss of the Prophecy Dungeon. At the moment, the 8 bounties reward from the Splicer Servitor is currently a +0. I don't know if this is intentional or not. Pinnacles will be dropping from Vault of Glass when it launches on the 22nd, and remember that you only need to be 1300 to be vault ready on day 1, so don't panic too much about getting to 1310 or higher or anything like that. Now let's talk armor synthesis. You'll start this by talking to the gunsmith, who will send you to Ada 1 in her old spot from Black Armory. She will send you on a quick mission to Europa where you just need to pick up an item, and then you'll go back to her in the tower. After placing said item in the loom, you will be gifted your second set of 5 synthweave, bringing your total to 10 per class. This is the point where you will be able to pick up bounties to start getting more synthweave. Before you do that though, you must select an armor piece for armor synthesis in order to progress the quest. To pick an armor piece, go into your character menu, then go down into your Sparrow and Emblem menu. This top right appearance customization button is what you want to hit. Then select what slot you want to look through, and then select an armor piece to synthesize. After you do that, you'll be able to grab a bounty, as Ada will give you 150 synth strand, which is what you need in order to purchase a bounty. Be aware that some of these bounties do not mess around. My bounty was to kill 40 champions in strikes, this being from the Vanguard category. Others are a bit easier, others might be even harder or take longer to do. But how do you get synth strand in the first place? To get synth strand, you simply kill enemies. That's all it takes. You can see how much you have in your inventory. However, synth strand comes very slowly. I have 66 after a mostly full day of playing. I tracked how many I got during a strike, and I ended up with 4. This is also something we'll be discussing in my first impressions video coming soon. After you have 150, you can buy a bounty from Ada, which will reward you with 100 rigid synth cord upon completion. You dump those synth cord into the loom, and you get a synth weave based on the class you're on. Try not to abandon bounties, as you won't be refunded fully for abandoning it. Finally, just some stuff to be reminded about. The gunsmith now provides random roll weapons every week, so be sure to check in at reset to see what he has. Little tip for anyone watching in the first week: buy the Ikelos SMG. Don't forget about the new aspect and fragments from the Stranger, be sure to scoop those up. The Deathbringer Catalyst is new, now dropping from playlists. I got mine in the Strike playlist after a single run. Trace Rifle mods are also dropping from Strikes and potentially other playlists. That is how the season works. Expunge, which will essentially be Season 14's Presage, is coming on May 25th, with 2 more override locations coming in on the 18th and the 25th. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.